Aerodynamics is really important here in F1 cars because the more downward force gives the car more grip in the cornering or in the surfaces, that is the tracks, whereas the less drag allows the car to go faster on the straight way. So one of the important tools for developing the aerodynamics of the car is the wind tunnel experiment. So here you can see what we do here. We perform this test to check whether the ideas that were looking perfect in our computer simulations are actually performing well in the real life conditions also. So we do this to analyze the effectiveness of the different concepts, components and the upgrades, as you can see on my display. So in the real life, as the car goes along the track, it moves through the air. In the wind tunnel, we flip this condition. So here the car is basically fixed and we blow the wind or the air through the big fans inside the wind tunnel, as you can see on my screen. So here the case is being flipped. Wind tunnels were actually originally developed for the aerospace industry, but nowadays it is being introduced and widely used in the automobiles industry also for developing the good aerodynamic designs in your automobile vehicles so that it can become more fuel efficient. So here you can see, so one of the biggest differences if we compare between the aerospace industry and the automobile industry is that in case of automobile testing, we have a moving ground. Means your ground inside the wind tunnel is not fixed. It is moved at the same velocity to that of the wind. So it acts as a very fast conveyor belt which moves at the same velocity as the wind, and it simulates the effect relative to the flow between the vehicle and the surface, that is the road, as you can see on my display. So what F1 teams basically do, they perform this test in which the real chassis is made up of carbon and the center of the wind tunnel model is a solid aluminum structure which we call spine, in which different components are being bolted up. And this allows us to easily change one area of the car without affecting the others. So we can say most of the parts on the wind tunnel experiment are made up of rapid prototyping and 3D printing, and components like the wings are made up of metal. And the car model is packed with sensors and we gather a large amount of data. Here the teams can also change the ride height and the altitude of the model during the test in order to simulate how the car changes and navigates its way around the track. So one run in the tunnel test results in a huge amounts of data to analyze. It also helps to build a picture of what the flow is doing and decide if a concept or upgrade can progress to the track or not. However, for the F1 teams, there are certain restrictions because of which they can only blow up the wind up to a velocity of over 110 miles per hour, that is 180 kilometers per hour. So this basically limits their ability to simulate how the actual effect will be there on the track when their vehicle is running on the track. So there are certain limitations also, but obviously this gives you a very better view of how the aerodynamic behavior of the car will be when it will be running on the roads.